Hello, Samantha. My name is FranzAlexander.
Hello.
It is nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
What brings you in today?
Well, right now, me and my husband, we're on the verge of getting a divorce. We're arguing a lot, and it's not really happy, or we're not happy together right now. There's definitely more tension, or I guess you could say there's not as many positive times in our life right now. It's more negative because we're fighting so much.
I see. Please discuss.
Well, kind of what's happening is my husband works 8 to 5 every day. He's a contractor, and he works about a half an hour away right now. And he tells me he's going to be home around 5:30 or 5:40. Due to traffic sometimes, or he's picking up his tools. And sometimes he doesn't necessarily come home at 5:30, 5:40 like he says. He sometimes comes home an hour afterwards, or an hour and a half. And I understand sometimes you have to get gas, or sometimes you have to work late. But it's like he tells me he's going to be home and he's not, so it's hard for me to trust him. I know he's not cheating on me or anything, but it's like if you say you're going to be home at a time and you're not. I mean, now I feel like every time, it's like, a friend asked me, so what time is, Nick, my husband, going to be home? I'm like, I don't know. Because, he tells me he's going to do it at this time and he's not. Another thing is, he tells me he's going to, pick up the dishes and do the dishes. And, he's not going to do that. Like, I don't trust that he'll do the dishes like he says he's going to.
I see.
And then, he has, because he's a contractor, he has a lot of people calling him all the time, and he just doesn't necessarily keep every number in his phone. And I'm like, well, why don't you store that phone number? I know he's not cheating, but it's just, I still have a lot of trust issues towards him just in general.
So maybe trust.
Yeah, no, I don't trust him at all.
Please describe your past relationships.
Well, my last relationship before my husband was with a guy for about 5 years, and he worked in a catering business. So of course he would say he'd be home at 11, and the event ended at 10, and he wouldn't be home till like 3. So it was definitely always hard for me because I never trusted what time he'd be home either. Or, never trusted that he would be there for me. He would say he would go to do, certain events with me, such as going to my parents' house, like a weekend, or go to the grocery store, and he just would never do it. So I kind of always really had a trust issue, and I guess I always assumed that no matter what, they're not going to do it. Even if my husband would do the dishes one time, or or he'd come home at the correct time, I still just would not trust him, or I've never really trusted any of my previous relationships.
I see. Please describe your relationship with your mother and father.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, I have a hard time kind of talking about my father and my mother, particularly my father, when my, my father left us when we were, I was at a young age, and left my mom to care for us by ourselves. And so, it was always hard because I never really had a male figure in my life, unlike my friends who always did. It was always hard for me to go over to my friend's house and see mom and dad. And then also, my friends, they would come over, and I'd say, oh, you guys get to meet my dad, my dad's going to come over to the house, pick me up, we're going to go, he's going to take us to the ice cream store, or we're going to go to the park with him. And I was so excited to show off my dad to my friends, and he just wouldn't show up. So, he would do that not only for, with my friends, but like birthdays and holidays, and it's still an issue now. I just, he says he's going to be there, and I know he's not going to. And if he is there, then it's like, whew, he's there, but I don't believe that he's going to be there until he actually shows up.
I see, Samantha, when you speak of your father and the past, you become anxious and you become upset. Do you believe that this is a pattern with you, with your father, and your current relationship?
Yeah, I definitely feel that, it's always been a problem, kind of what's happened in the past. And I definitely, that's why I'm here, because I want to make sure I change for the better, or be able to understand kind of, the trust issue and why I haven't, what I can do. But yeah, no, I've never really been able to trust any male figures in my life, and I definitely feel that it does stem from when my relationship from my dad, and still my relationship now with my dad.
I see, Samantha. I want to go quickly into the focal problem, the focal point. I believe the problem is with the trust issues that developed when you were a child until the relationships up to now. And I want to develop your skills in order for you to better understand your emotions when dealing with your current relationship with your husband. And I do not want to cure your problems, but just to develop the tools in order for you to have, how do you say, a corrective emotional experience, for you to better understand and relate to your husband. And right now I want to set up 8 sessions so we can talk about two times per week what the problem is. We can discuss your thoughts about your father. And right now I want you to sign this contract in order for us to discuss these problems. And in order for us to, for you to become more insightful, this may create anxiety. Would this be okay with you?
Yeah, I understand that
It may be difficult for you to talk about this.
Yeah, I understand that it probably will bring up some emotions that I don't like. And
Sure.
I'm okay with that.
Just as long as I sign and you sign, and we can agree that I will try my best in order for us to work together.
Sounds good.
Thank you, Samantha. I will see you next week.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you.
Thank you.